welcome to Gypsy Queen Cuisine. I'm your host, Suzy Phillips, and today we're gonna be making my favorite sandwich of all times, falafels. Yum! It's gonna be so good. If you've never made falafels from scratch, you're gonna have a ball. It's really super easy to make. They're great to freeze, and once you've had them made from scratch, you'll never want to eat them anywhere else. A little brief history about falafels. Where did they come from? Are they just a Middle Eastern thing, or did they come from a specific area? Well, they did come from a specific area. They came from Egypt. Egyptians use a lot of beans, fava beans mainly, and garbanzo beans in their dishes. And the Lebanese people have adopted so many dishes from the Egyptians because they do have a really delicious cuisines. And later on in the other episodes, we'll go into more about other Egyptian dishes that us Lebanese people have adopted. But in Lebanon, everywhere you go, every shop, every sandwich shop or restaurant, you're gonna have falafels come to your table. We love them. And today, I'm gonna show you what kind of things go in the falafels. Usually, I've prepared my ingredient table for you. For falafels, you want to make sure you prepare a day ahead. For example, if you're using dried beans, which I highly suggest, use dry fresh beans and soak them overnight. If you're using a cup of dried beans, you should use 3 cups of water that you're going to soak them in, and a little pinch of baking soda. What baking soda does is softens the legumes. It makes them a little softer to blend, and if you're cooking them for a different dish, it makes them softer and quicker to cook. The ingredients that go in falafels are gonna be garlic, onion, a medium onion, quartered. I have leek, 1 medium-sized leek, rinsed and chopped into small pieces. Cumin. Let me tell you a little bit about cumin and why Egyptians use it so much. Because you're eating beans, they tend to make you a little gaseous. So cumin helps with the digestion of that. It's a great digestive spice. So cumin, and it adds great flavor. I love cumin. It's one of my favorite spices to use. Cumin, we'll go back to here. We have cumin, black pepper, salt, and a little cayenne pepper, because I like a little kick in my falafels. And of course, parsley. Now you have 2 options of using different herbs. You have cilantro and you have parsley. You want to pick one because that same herb is going to go in the sauce that's going to cover the falafel patties, the tahini sauce, which we're going to discuss next. Tahini sauce is essential in falafels. It's what makes the falafels come out with full of flavor. It's delicious. And now it consists of lemon juice, tahini, and garlic, and a little water. And then we have our garnishes for the falafels. A falafel sandwich would be very boring if it didn't have its posse joining in the sandwich. I love, and you know, you can use your own garnishes, but these are the traditional garnishes that go really nicely with all the flavors that we have going on here. I have chopped tomatoes, I have an English cucumber, I have a pickled cucumber, and these are from the Middle East. These are from Lebanon. They're little small cucumbers, similar to Armenian cucumbers, which are kind of hard to find here, but you can find them in Middle Eastern stores. They're small cucumbers with ridges, and they have really small seeds. They're super delicious. Here we have pickled beets and turnips and cauliflower. I've pickled these over the winter, and I'll show you how to pickle Lebanese pickles later on in another episode as well. But these are delicious to go in falafels. And then the same herb that you're using in your tahini dressing or in your falafel mix, we're gonna do a little garnish of that too inside of the sandwich. I love to have French fries with my falafels. They go hand in hand. I also prepare my French fries the night before. I also soak them in water. I usually use russet potato or Yukon Golds, whatever I have in the pantry. Here I have just 2 small heads, 2 medium heads, peeled, and I just cut them to my liking. I don't like my French fries without any meat, but I don't like them too meaty. This is how I like them. And you soak them for 24 hours. If you decide to have French fries at the last minute, still soak them in some water, and then you can blanch them later. The main tools that you need to make falafels, they're not that much. Here I have, you need a food processor to puree all your ingredients, a lemon juicer for your tahini sauce, and I have a garlic pounder that I've had since I've moved from Lebanon. We brought it in with us. It's essential to Lebanese cuisine, and it's strictly used for garlic. It's a mortar and pestle, and you put your garlic in here and you pound it to a paste, and that distributes the flavor of garlic all through your dishes. You're not going to have a clump here or there. I prepared also my serving dishes. I'm going to have a mixing bowl for my falafel mix. I have a plate here for my French fries with a paper towel. I have a bowl for my tahini dressing, and I have also a platter for my falafel patties when I'm transferring them from the mixing bowl to the platter. Now, once you have mixed your falafel mix, you want to let it rest for 30 minutes. And in between that time, you're going to work on your sauces. So what do you say? Let's get started. Let the fun begin. Here I have everything, all my ingredients next to me. That way I don't have to run back and forth. My chickpeas. Now you have an option of keeping the skin on or taking the skin off. I don't mind using the skin in my falafel mix. If you really don't like the skin, I would suggest putting a paper towel, clean cloth, dishcloth, and draining. Let's drain them. And I'm gonna save this for my French fries also to drain. But what you could do to take the skin off is get 2 clean dishcloths, put one cloth down, and then put your garbanzo beans, spread them evenly, and then cover them with another clean dish towel, and with a rolling pin roll them. And what that does is break up the skin, and then you can put them back in the water, and then the skin will float and you can remove it. Parsley. It's really important to wash your parsley or cilantro, whatever herb you're using, and let it dry before you go on to the next step. Whenever I buy my parsley or cilantro, right away I fill up my sink with water and I dunk my parsley in there, and what that does, all the sands and granules in there will float to the bottom of the sink. I give it a good whack, and then I put it in a glass with a little water and forget about it and let it drip dry. And the next day I can use my parsley or cilantro for anything. I don't have to wait for it to dry. I'm gonna start adding my ingredients to my bowl. I use quarter bunch of parsley or cilantro, and I have them rubber banded. I make them into a bouquet so I can easily take them off. It's okay to have a little stem in this. I'm gonna add my onions. There's not a right order for this. You can do this in any order you want. I'm gonna add my leeks. And I'm gonna add my garlic. Now, garlic is really up to your preference for the taste. It's what your palate likes. My palate loves garlicky. I'm gonna use about 7 or 8 garlic cloves, but in this batch I'll use 4. Oh, and 1 for extra measure. I'm gonna use about a teaspoon of pepper. I want the cumin taste to really come out, so I'm going to use about 2 teaspoons. I'll do 1.5, and then I'm going to taste as I go along. Salt. You have a lot of veggies here, so you want to add a little salt, about a teaspoon as well.